The Stringy Acid Kelp, aka Desmarestia viridis, has traveled almost 20,000 kilometers to migrate from the Antarctic to the Arctic. I will explain to you how this seaweed managed to displace itself across the globe, as well as some fun facts about this amazing algae. Desmarestia viridis, or the Stringy Acid Kelp, is a seaweed in the brown algae family. It gets its name from the sulfuric acid, with a pH of 1, that it releases when it dies, usually destroying itself and other nearby organisms in the process. This oceanic seaweed can grow up to 120 centimeters tall. It has a small, specialized root-like structure called a holdfast that keeps it glued to a certain spot to keep it from getting swept away. It kind of resembles a bouquet of yellowy brown feathers. It relies on photosynthesis to survive. The life cycle of the seaweed has two principal stages. The larger feathery plant, called the sporophyte, which will reproduce to make a small microscopic organism called the gametophyte, which will later reproduce to make the large feathery sporophyte again. And this life cycle goes on and on and on. The microscopic gametophyte stage of the stringy acid kelp will only reproduce at waters of about 15 degrees Celsius and will die if the water is warmer. This microscopic gametophyte is typically free-floating, meaning it just floats wherever the current brings it and will stay in shallow waters. Because of the strict requirements needed to ensure the survival of Desmarestia viridis, it typically only lives in the Arctic and Antarctica, as well as the polar extremities of the temperate regions, like Nova Scotia, the United Kingdom, or somewhere far south like New Zealand. So how did this sensitive seaweed travel across the world through the warm tropical oceans that kill it to the North Pole? Well, it starts off in the Antarctic, where the stringy acid kelp was originally found. But this is 18,000 years ago, in the peak of the last ice age. The ice age changed the temperatures of the world's waters. The warmest the equatorial surface waters got at that time was about 21 degrees Celsius, but fluctuated between that and 16 degrees Celsius. Through tests, the microscopic gametophyte was found to be able to survive in 21-degree waters, just not that well, and it was certainly not able to reproduce. Due to the harsh oceanic currents and winds that ran across the seas during the last ice age, this seaweed was able to stay at the surface of the water and go from the far south to the far north, where it colonized and spread. As the ice age started to die down, the stringy acid kelp in the tropical waters overheated and died, separating the two populations. The species were confirmed to be the same recently through the comparison of their DNA. More recent studies have shown that an intermediate sporic stage between the large feathery sporophyte and the microscopic gametophyte can survive under great depths at little light, which could have helped with an alternate deep water route for this algae to take. So to recap, the stringy acid kelp was able to travel across many oceans and migrate across the globe. This algae plays an important role in urchin ecology, and when found in reasonable abundance, this algae can benefit many ecosystems. So this brings us to the end of this talk, so I'd like to thank everyone so much for listening to this video on the travels of Desmarestia viridis. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you back again to listen to more amazing videos.